Please rise for the flag salute. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
In accordance with the provisions of the Open Public Meeting Act, a public notice of this meeting has been sent to board members, all Milford schools, the Herald News, the Trend, the Record, the Messenger, West Milford Town Hall, the County Superintendent's Office, the Board Attorney, and Cablevision of Warwick, and posted on the district's website. Copies of the board meeting calendar, resolution, were provided to all local media, town hall, township library, and all district schools. Roll call, Mr. Secretary.
Mr. Bailey? Mr. Seidowitz?
Here.
Mr. Drew?
Here.
Mrs. Dwyer? Mr. Guarino?
Here.
Mrs. Fritz?
Here.
Mr. Huber?
Here.
Mrs. O'Brien?
Here.
Ms. Van Dyke?
Here. Superintendent's report.
Good evening, everybody. We have our preliminary budget hearing tonight. I did create a PowerPoint. I'm going to throw it up on the screen here. So if you want to, Linda and Joe, if you want to move to the side, perhaps for a better viewing angle. All right, good evening, members of the board, members of the public here this evening. We're going to start off our preliminary budget hearing. There is a timeline in here, and there will be plenty of time at the end for board members to ask questions about this budget. I started off this year. The first slide is the last slide of the public hearing PowerPoint from last April, late April. The board approved the 2017-18 budget in late April. This was the last slide we had up on the screen, and there was a little bullet point here on the bottom in red, which where I expressed some concern. Mrs. Francisco expressed her concern about the budget moving forward, beginning in 2018-19, then into 2019-2020. So here we are now, about 12 months later, and we did have a little bit of an issue with this year's budget, as you're about to find out. So this budget is a very fiscally conservative budget. It does have significant staff reductions. We've discussed our enrollment has declined from last year, the year before. Over time, it's added up to a fairly significant reduction of students. This year alone, we're looking at 6 teachers cut at the elementary level, 6 positions cut at various schools, 2 teachers at McAfee, 4 at the high school, plus district-wide 1 secretary, a half-time custodian, 1 administrator. On top of that, we think it's conservative because our budget only increased by under $1 million. This is on a $75 million budget on average, so it's increasing by just over $900,000, which is just over 1%, 1.2%, I believe. Okay? Our administrative costs are significantly lower per pupil than the regional limit. There's a northern regional, central, and south Jersey regional limit, which is different based on cost of living. So our administrative costs are significantly lower per pupil. This budget addresses some, but not all, of the capital needs of our district. So last spring, we approved 4 district goals for this year. The budget we're talking about now will support the district goals that have yet to be developed, that we'll discuss in about a month from now in April. This budget will support those goals. So curriculum highlights. Mr. Novak, could you jump in here with a couple of highlights? This is just some what's in next year's budget. There are some other things that are in there that we just, for the sake of space, we left out.
So just to highlight a number of things, we've got curriculum goals in all departments in all schools. This is a summary of some of our more loftier and ambitious goals. The first bullet point refers to the work we've been doing in our Readers and Writers Workshop training. We have our consultant. They will be beginning year 3 of our 5-year plan next year. They'll be branching out into different grade levels and expanding the training. It's typically about 20 dates per year where the consultant comes in, and the teachers have the opportunity to meet in their PLCs, work with their administrators, and work with their colleagues to work on the specifics of the training. The second bullet point refers to our STAR Math implementation. This is the first year we've been using the STAR Math assessment program. We've completed our second assessment. Our third assessment is going to take place hopefully the end of this month. I think the snow days may have forced us to push our window back a little bit, but we're looking at the end of March, first week of April for that third administration. We've done a good job with sharing those results with families. The teachers were able to share reports with parents at the parent-teacher conferences, and we also were able to mail home results with our last report cards. So we've been able to share the results. We've been tracking the results. We're excited about having a year 2 next year so we can track our students from year to year. I think that's the power of that initiative, is that we're able to track our students over time. We had similar success with our reading benchmark assessment, where we're able to determine a student's reading level and then track them over time. We've been doing that for a number of years, so we have data now on our students from a kindergarten through a 7th or 8th grade level in their growth in reading, and the ambition for STAR Math is that we have that same ability. The third bullet point is our expansion of our robotics program. We currently offer a half-year elective, Robotics 1. You had a great demonstration. I think it was the last board meeting. Robotics 1 students, those are the types of things they work on. They're able to, do simple tasks, move forward, backwards, pick things up, and complete an obstacle course. Robotics 2, which is our proposal for next year, would allow those students to take the things they've learned in Robotics 1 and apply a little real world rationale to the robotics. So it's an ambitious goal. If you're a student who takes Robotics 1 in the first semester, you could also take Robotics 2 in the second semester and get a full year of robotics. We've also expanded that program. This past year, it was only open to our upperclassmen and our juniors and seniors. Next year, it'll be open for all students 9 through 12. So we're really looking to expand it. We're expanding upon the feeder programs in our Macapin and elementary robotics clubs. So it's a real fun initiative to see go. Digital citizenship curriculum, that's something we've been working on the last few years. I'll talk during the Director of Ed report about Digital Citizenship Night, so I won't continue with that now, but I'll come back to that. Dr. McQuaid, if you want me to skip and you come back to you?
It's up to you.
All right, I'll skip and
Skip and
you
come
can
back?
close it up.
Sure.
We are looking at increasing honors and AP participation with students who qualify in those programs. So we're looking at our current enrollment. We're looking at things like AP potential through some of the assessments that we use, and we're looking to encourage those kids who may qualify for honors and AP programs but might not necessarily be taking them for whatever reason. So we're looking to increase and bolster that participation. We're in the process, and we started the training for our 6th and 7th grade math teachers for our new program to be implemented next year. Along with that is an additional, it's a new textbook series, but along with that is a new digital component that could potentially be what I refer to as a controlled abandonment of everyone's favorite IXL. So in 6th and 7th grade, we're going to take a look at it. It's actually coincidentally named Alex, the program that accompanies our new textbook series. It aligns much better with our 8th grade curriculum than we have now, so we're excited about that. And the other big item is our look at our K2 phonics program. We currently have a system that's been in place probably about 6 years. We are in drastic need of a change. We have a committee in place who's been visiting other districts and looking at phonics in action. We are currently looking at our leading program right now, but I'm not committing to it, is something called Phonics First. It's a multisensory program. We've visited this program in action in a number of districts. We have one more site visit to do with that committee, and we're hoping to make a final decision on that program relatively soon. So a lot of exciting initiatives, just to name a few. Dr. McQueen? Okay,
so also within this budget, as we look under the special education umbrella to return students to district as we are assessing their needs to a least restrictive environment, we, within this budget, need to add some additional programming to our schools. So basically, we're not adding new and additional programs, we're more adding and expanding the current programs that we have. So you will see that we are expanding the autism ABA classes. We will need one additional class, and in order to support that class and those students, within this budget, there's an increase in the OT, the PT, and the speech therapy services, as well as the behaviorist. The good news is that these students are then returning to district, so they're in our home schools, and that we are also, obviously, there is a cost savings to that as well, because we will not be paying the out-of-district tuitions. We will continue to support transition services for our students that are 18 to 21. So you will notice that there are some budget items that do that as well, because as we're expanding our programs again, pre-K up to 21, we need to support those students within those settings. And just also within this budget, it does allow for us to continue to have our behavior disabilities programs, our learning language disabilities programs, our multiply disabled programs, and our ABA programs. This way students can age up and then throughout all of the grade levels with us. So that's all included in the budget.
Thank you very much. So our budget timeline, we started in the fall. We developed budget guidelines. I'll go over those in a moment. We had meetings for the better part of 2 months. We had a special Board of Ed meeting in February all over. This year's been a compressed timeline because we had a new governor. Our state aid figures were released to our districts on Thursday, just a couple days ago, and here we are tonight approving the preliminary budget. So since we got these figures on Thursday, it's been we've been moving about 90 miles per hour since then. We are after this evening, we approved the preliminary budget. We have to submit it to the Executive County Superintendent for approval. And then in April, we hope to have a public hearing on the budget on April 24th. Though if we don't get our budget back from the county, that could be potentially be pushed back 1 week, which would be Tuesday, May 1st. So if we can keep Tuesday, May 1st open on the calendars, if the county doesn't get our budget back in time for April 24th public hearing, it will have to be pushed back to Tuesday, May 1st, the following week. So our budget guidelines and parameters, this is what we attempted to do, this is what we did do with this budget. These were our goals for this year. We were able to achieve every one of these. So we did, including the last one, operationalized staffing reductions with respect to student enrollment trends. Okay? We do use zero-based budgeting strategies, which means we start off every year in every line with zero, and then justify a certain number, whatever that number may be. You don't just base off of what we spent last year. Okay, the 18-19 budget. This is what we believe in as educators, as board members, as a community. It's not so much what you say you're going to do, it's what you fund. What programs you fund. We fund neighborhood schools. We fund small class sizes. We fund technology, professional development. These are the things we believe in. Okay? It's not enough to say we believe in it and then cut the funding for those areas. So in this budget, this is what we're supporting. Okay? So our budget basics, we split our budget into two areas, revenues and expenses. And our revenues, our expenditures are increasing at a faster rate than our revenues. Right? Our local tax levy has been virtually flat for the last 3 years. I have another slide on that in a couple ahead here. Our state aid, last year we had in here that we were underfunded by $1.6 million. They ran the formula this year, which is good news. The bad news is there's going to be a 4-year phase-in of that number. So this year we realized $400,000 extra of state aid compared to last year, which is basically $1.6 million divided by 4. Now, the plan is to have that phased in 4 years, so ideally we can anticipate an extra $400,000 each year for the next 3 years as well. However, we won't know that until 12 months from now. Our federal aid is declining. New program, NCLB or ESSA. Our fund balance, which is also a revenue line, has declined significantly this year and is projected to decline again for the 1920 budget. So our state aid, this is just roughly a 10-year look ahead. We used to get more. We used to get about 25% of our budget funded by the state. Now we're down to about 20%. So that's 5%. If you look at it, if you could imagine a pie chart, the state used to cover a quarter of it. Now they cover a fifth of it. So that extra 5% has to be picked up either by local taxpayers or we have to cut that amount out of our budget. Okay? Our state aid as a line graph. Our federal money, this is IDEA, NCLB. This has declined as well. This used to be about 2.5% of our budget. Now it's 1.5%. So that's another 1% of our overall budget that basically disappeared over the last 10 years. So you add those two numbers together, that's a 6% cut out of our total budget in revenues. Our local tax levy, this is, you've heard of the 2% tax levy cap. That is on the local tax levy, not our overall budget. So in West Milford, our budget supported by, about 70% of our budget is supported from local taxpayers. So if we increase our tax levy by 2%, we're only increasing our revenues by 1.4%. Remember, we're not getting 2% of 100%, we're getting 2% of 70%. So that's some of the issues here. All of our expenses are going up by more than 1.4%, I can assure you that. So here is a 7-year look at our local tax levy increase. I don't know of any district that has tax increases this low over this long a period of time. I couldn't say for certain, but it's probably the lowest in the state. If it's not the lowest, it might be the second or third lowest out of 550 districts. So our 4-year average is less than 1%. Our 7-year average is just over 1%. I mentioned fund balance before. This is the amount of money that's left over in our budget on June 30th. And it gets added to our budget not the next day, but the next year. So there's a 12-month lag. So the fund balance that was identified on June 30th, 2017, will be added to the 2018-19 budget. Right? This number is diminished by almost $1 million this year, and it continues to decline for next year. So this is the actual fund balance here. This is projected for next year. So when we started to build this budget, we used zero-based budgeting. We started out with zero. Our revenues were over $900,000 less. Our employee health benefits contribution, this has also flattened out. So our staff pays into their health benefits now. They were on tier 1 this year, 2, 3, 4. We realized increases in revenue each of these 4 years, and now it just flattens out. So if you look backwards, this column is increasing faster than this column. All right, extraordinary aid, this has to do with our special education programs. Dr. McQuaid does a huge application every year. This number is declining. We used to receive more than we budgeted for 3 years in a row. The last 3 years, we received less than we budgeted. So this is a revenue. This is money that's coming into us from the state, and it's going down each year. So what does this mean big picture? Our local tax levy, the budget that you have in front of you, the local tax levy goes up by 2.75%. However, our general fund is only going up 1.28%. Our overall budget is 1.21%, which is significantly lower than just about every district I've seen. The difference between this and this is mostly explained by the fund balance decrease. So these here give you revenues year over year and some changes, and our expenses. There should be a PowerPoint on your table for each board member. you're having trouble seeing that, it's probably a little easier. Tax levy impact on the average homeowner right now is $130 per year, which divides out to just over $10 per month. So efficiencies in this budget, these are some things we're looking to do, plus many other things. There's a huge savings in reduction in out-of-district placed students. Capital projects, we sort of looked at this as a high priority, high cost issue. Low priority, low cost, high priority, low cost, things of that nature. So we have a couple of items in our budget. School security is one item we're looking at. The McCormick Field bleachers at the football field, Maple Road roof is in this budget, and the part 2 of the field house, part 1 is in this year's budget. Right? Now, looking ahead, 1 year from now, what does the 1920 budget look like? Almost exactly the same as this budget. Diminishing fund balance, which means you start the year off in a little bit of a hole. Okay? Expenses rising faster than revenues. And more than likely additional staffing cuts for the 1920 year. Okay? Do any board members have any questions?
What were the decreases in federal funding from last year to this year, not over the last 7 years?
The revenue that we're bringing in is the same. So we're using the same dollar figure, but we could only budget 80 to 85% of what we actually receive, because we never know how it's going to trickle down to us. So while we might get 1.3 million in total, we can't budget 1.3 million. We have to budget 80% of it.
So essentially it's the same as last year?
Yes.
Any questions?
The budgeted fund balance, so that's down 50% in 3 years, roughly?
Yeah, our budgeted fund balance went down this year. We've been, we were accruing about 2.9 million in budgeted fund balance. That means unexpended monies in the prior year budget, due largely in part because every year that the employee benefit tiers were implemented, we didn't know how much money we were going to actually receive in contributions, because as it became more expensive for employees, they began to start waiving their benefits. So now we've had Tier 4. This is the third year of Tier 4. So we have a pretty good handle on what our employee benefit contributions are going to be. And the current year, 17-18, we anticipated 2.8 million. And we're just about right on the nose.
So having a budgeted fund balance below $1 million, which looks like would be the potential for next year?
Well, some of the things that we've done with the budgeted fund balance over the last few years, when we had significant amounts, we were able to address capital projects that hadn't been done.
Right.
And because you never know what your budgeted fund balance is going to be from year to year, because you don't know how much money you're going to have saved at the end of the year, it was my recommendation to use it for capital projects, simply because once you do the project, it's over with, and you don't need to worry about having that money again the following year. So that's the way we've approached having excess surplus or a budgeted fund balance.
Seems low.
$75 million
It's low.
budget, this cuts it pretty close.
That's low.
It would be like doing a $75,000 home renovation in your house and having $1,000 left at the end of it.
Yep.
You wouldn't say, we were totally over budget. You'd say, cut it pretty close, and it's not much of a wiggle room. You could have an out-of-district, you could have a student move into your school district, into your community, placed out of district at $100,000 or more, depending on the needs. So those costs can go up, utilities, overtime, things of that nature. So there's always going to be a little bit of wiggle room. We're cutting it close. Bottom line is, we lost about just under $1 million in revenue there. So if taxes go up by $1 million, that you really don't have any extra money. It's all eaten up by that one line. So that's something that's a significant concern moving forward.
I think it's also important to state that we are allowed by the state to keep 2% of our general fund, and which is like 1.4 million. They are not happy when it goes below that, because that's basically like your emergency fund. So if you have some kind of catastrophe, you need some kind of dollars to go along with it. Or if some of your revenues don't come through. A number of years ago, out of the blue, the governor decided he was going to take like 1.5 million from state aid. So you just never know when things like that are going to
And I
happen.
just equate that to days cash on hand, and it just seems.
Pretty much, yeah. And it kind of helps with their cash flow at the end of the school year, because our last two state aid payments, which total about $1.5 million, don't appear until July. So you have to meet your final payrolls. And we would have to borrow money in order to do that.
And last year, we had our 2% untouched, and we had an additional excess balance of around 900,000, right?
Well, you really have to not think about that 2% as some kind of a surplus, because the state actually gives you an edit if you have less than 2%. So it becomes problematic, and I don't know how that translates into any kind of future QSAC requirement either, because they're changing all the requirements for QSAC, and since this is the first time I've seen a 2% edit in the budget program, so I don't know where that's going to go, because now with the advent of technology and they have so many ways of cross-checking the things that are put into the database. So, but every year it changes. The requirements change.
All right. Thank you.
What's our
I just have a couple items to get to. Okay, moving right along. Next bullet point, monthly progress towards district goals. We are going to be administering our the STAR math assessment for the third time, beginning, weather permitting, on Monday the 26th. We have a 2-week window, so it's the last week in March, first week in April. That'll be for students in grades 2 through 8, plus algebra and geometry students at the high school. So parents should be getting that data home later this spring. All right. Did not make this superintendent's report, but I wanted to brief the board and the community as well, for that matter. This year we allocated 7 snow days for our calendar. Last week we used our 7th day. We thought we were okay, and then we woke up this morning to potentially a foot of snow coming overnight after midnight. So that could potentially be a snow day tomorrow. It would be one too many. So that's an item we have to discuss, what data we want to add back. We really can't do it tonight because we're not sure how many days we're going to have to add. This could be a snow day tomorrow. Worst case scenario, it's a 2-day storm, 18 inches, and it's a Wednesday, Thursday snow day. Worst case scenario, it's 2 days, and then we also have snow coming in Sunday into Monday, possibly another nor'easter. So we're not really sure how many snow days we're going to go over, but we most likely will be at least one over. So I did speak with Mr. Roselli and Mrs. Van Dyke earlier today. We do have the idea that we could pass a resolution tonight.
Right, to let you decide the calendar when we know the number of school days.
Right. So if we have some additional snow days within the next few days, I can make an adjustment on the fly and then retroactively approve it at the next board meeting in April. So we're looking to keep our spring break intact for families. We know some people are traveling that week. We do have the option of next Friday, March 30th, which is Good Friday, as a single-day session.
which just means it's an early dismissal for staff and students. So that's something we could potentially do. If you have any plans, I would try to break them if you could, because that's most likely the first day we'll grab back on the calendar. It's not ideal, I understand. Just a little heads up for the community. Okay?
So do we have it set up for students to go 181 days?
Correct.
And I know friends in Ringwood, what they're doing is the students are going 180 days, and the teachers will go that one extra day as required. Is that something that could happen if we have additional days that might have to be checked
That
off?
could be something. The state minimum is 180. We have 181
Right.
in our calendar, so that is a possibility too. The only potential issue is our high school graduation is on the second to last day of school, and we are required to graduate our students no earlier than day 180. So that would make it day 179. So there's some mechanics involved there. Certainly not out of the question, something we'll look into, but we just want to get through this next 5 to 7 days first, and it's going to be April at some point. All right. Okay, next up, our student representative. I think if you were going to look up in the dictionary poise or leadership or caring, or any of those words, you might very well see Miss McIntyre's face. We had as you all know, last Wednesday was student walkout day, and at both Macapin and in the high school, we had walk-in or sit-ins, and Miss McIntyre did a wonderful job. She is a natural leader, somebody we're all very fortunate to have on our Board of Education, and I don't know where you're going next year, but there's a university is going to get a wonderful young lady. So I asked Ms. McIntyre to brief the board and the community on last week. Okay.
Thank you. So March has been a crazy month for the Highlanders. Despite all the snow days, it's been a productive time for everyone. The Empty Bowls fundraiser was a huge success, and spring sports have begun even though it doesn't feel like spring. The Little Mermaid was a huge success, and one student recently won a history award at the state level and is going on to present her paper that won at a national level. Up and coming, the choir is having a spaghetti karaoke night on the 21st, and junior prom is at the end of the month, and the District Arts Festival will be on March 29th. On the week of March 14th, the councils in the high school joined together to create a sit-in which honored the lives of the 17 lost in the Parkland shooting. We all worked really hard to make the event non-political and something that everyone could enjoy. 17 students marched the halls as the Highlanders sat against the lockers and the walls. These 17 students represented what 17 students look like and how it could have been any one of them that were the victims. Donation boxes were carried around the school by 4 students, and we raised $288 in 17 minutes that will be donated to the Stoneman Douglas Victims Fund. Speeches were given by the names of the victims were read, preceded by a moment of silence. Myself, Evan Brown, Kari Malatek, Cynthia Dreps, Cindy Cintron, Rachel Horvath, and Hayden Brook gave phenomenal speeches. It was an amazing and heartwarming day for the Highlanders as we all joined together wearing black and gold to learn about mental illness, bullying, and kindness.
Thank you, Ms. McIntyre. And lastly, I would like to congratulate 2 Highlanders. Anthony Hopler, he came in 4th place in a cooking portion of the competition, winning a scholarship that includes $2,400 per semester for 4 years at the Culinary Institute of New York at Monroe College. And Abigail Porch, she was awarded America's Top High School Pastry Chef 2018, which includes a full academic scholarship to the Culinary Institute of New York at Monroe College. Both these students are part of our Culinary Arts Academy at the high school and part of our cooking classes. So congratulations to them. All right.
Thank you. Mr. Novak.
Okay, thank you. I just have just wanted to give a brief recap of our 3rd annual Digital Citizenship Night. We hosted it last night for the first time at the West Milford High School. We had about 340 participants in attendance, which was a good number to have. It was nice to see parents and students from grades 5 through 8 to come and talk about such an important topic. I wanted to take an opportunity to publicly thank our generous donors for the event. If you're familiar with the event, we end the you know that we end the night with a raffle. We're able to raffle off 10 Chromebooks and an Xbox One for students who are in attendance. So I'm just going to name those organizations. Now, we had a generous donation by the West Milford Board of Education, so thank all of you for contributing to that prize. Mrs. Dwyer, our trustee, made a single donation in memory of her husband. So we were very appreciative for that. Our central office administrators, we donated a Chromebook. Our West Milford Education Association donated, as well as our West Milford Principals Supervisors Association, our West Milford Parents Association, which is representative of all of our PTAs, PTOs, and PTSOs, the West Milford Educational Technology Committee, who is the committee that we have in place to organize the event and to implement all of our digital citizenship curriculum across the district. And Mr. El Taib was able to contact some of our common vendors, one of them being a company called Trinity 3, who we do some of our technology purchasing through, and they donated 2 Chromebooks for the event, so we were grateful for that. He was also instrumental in bringing in Microsoft Corp to not only donate the Xbox One, but to also set up a virtual reality display there for the event, so our kids were able to interact safely with technology during the event to have just a little extra for the kids to enjoy. So I want to say thank you to everyone who helped donate for the event. I also want to send a special thank you to the Insera Family ShopRite here in West Milford, the store managers in particular, Tony and Carmine, for helping organizing our dinner. They donated half of the order, which was a pretty substantial order, to provide a complimentary dinner for 350 participants, plus our volunteers and our other guests in attendance. So I just want to say a special thank you to them, really, supporting their community and doing a great job for us. We're excited about the event. This is the first time that I did not have a major speaking role, so I was very excited about having my hands free to enjoy the event as a participant and not someone stressed about speaking. But we did have a speaker named Melissa Straub, who has been here numerous times to speak to our students in grades 5 through 12 to talk about online safety and the dangers of the digital world. So we were able to have a captive audience for her of, like I said, 350 parent students combined. And then she also did a special breakout session for just parents, which was about half of that number. So she got to talk to about 150 parents in that one moment, and we received a lot of feedback today through email and word of mouth. The parents were very appreciative of the message that she delivers. So we were grateful for that. I want to say a special thank you to our Educational Technology Committee, especially Mrs. Laura Oakes, who really helps bring that group together and organize a lot of the things that we do. So without our Ed Tech Committee, a lot of these things don't happen. In the previous slide with our curriculum update, the bullet point of digital citizenship curriculum was listed. That was greatly on display at last night's event. We have lessons in all of our classrooms for our students to help students navigate the digital world. We recently participated in a Be Safe online contest where all 5th through 8th grade students were able to create a poster and submit it, where they had to create a bit of a public service announcement in regard to this topic. If you were able to view these posters, you would see a tremendous reflection of the lessons that we are teaching in our classrooms every day. So for me, it was one of those validating moments that the things that we're doing are working, because we're seeing the language and we're seeing the common message that we're teaching in the classroom showing up in the students' independent works. And that's really when you know something's clicking, when you see that moment of transfer. So it was an exciting night. I'm going to give a shout out to Mrs. Awaschek, who's in the crowd. The Digital Citizenship Night was a kind of started in a brief conversation many years ago about things that we should be doing, and it was nice for that to kind of come to fruition in this event. So thank you for that conversation way back when. We have a recent new addition to our Ed Tech Committee, who is Mr. Joe Jordan from our TV Science Department, and he put together a tremendous video clip. I promised Mr. Bailey it would be only around 23 minutes long. You okay with that length? Okay, good. All right. You want to roll it? All right. So that's just a brief little clip of, the type of event it was. We got a lot of, like I said, a lot of tremendous feedback. We are, we'll never rest, so we're already, we start with the Ed Tech Committee. Our first item on our agenda for our April meeting is how did it go and what can we do better next year? We'll start advertising that again for next March. So thank you again for all the support and for those who participate. It doesn't happen without people showing up, so appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you. Mrs. Francisco?
Yeah, we have the minutes from the February 20th special meeting and the February 27th regular meeting for your review and consideration.
Need a motion?
I'd like to make a motion to approve the following meeting minutes, February 20th, special meeting, executive session, February 27th, regular meeting. Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
I abstain from the 27th.
2 abstains. Okay, President's report. Let's see. I attended the digital citizenship last night, which I thought was amazing. It's the first time I've ever gone, and it was very interesting. And I was glad to see so many parents out with their kids. It looked like it was, for some parents, it was a real eye opener, and it was a good night. And I'd like to thank Mr. Novak again, because it really was, it was well attended, and it really gave a lot of information to the parents, and was totally an enjoyable evening of learning on both sides. I also want to thank the maintenance staff for all that they have done over this past month of March in moving piles and piles and piles of snow. They have gone above and beyond, and our buildings look great, and I just want to thank them. I wanted to make a note that Macapan is doing Beauty and the Beast this weekend. It's Thursday, Friday, Saturday at the Macapan. It's the Macapan Kids. So if anybody's interested, we have another Disney program going on in the district this weekend, and I hope everybody will come out and attend that. Other than that, that's all I have under my report. As you see now on our agenda, we've changed things a little bit. We are calling this part of the meeting public comment. Petitioners who have requested to speak prior to the meeting will be first with 5 minutes for each petitioner for a period of 30 minutes, and then time permitting, other petitions and other requests limited to 5 minutes per petitioner will be allowed until the 30-minute time period expires. Petitioners speaking during petitions and requests are asked to address topics listed in the agenda. All speakers are asked to give their full name, spell their last name, and provide their address. Speakers may not use the names of students during petitions and requests. Has anybody signed up, Mrs. Francisco?
Yes, Mrs. Wazak?
Can you hear me? Okay. This good?
Yes.
Okay. Good evening. My name is Jennifer Waschuk, IWASZCZUK. I live at 21 Delmont Road in Hewitt. Am I allowed to use my daughter's name? Okay.
Is that all?
I'm a parent of third and sixth grader from UGL School and a voice of our third graders. I'm here tonight to discuss my concerns looking forward to my daughter's fourth grade academic year. We are all aware of the possibility that the current 3 sections for many of our schools, elementaries in the district will be cut in the coming year due to the budget issues. I have addressed the board last year with the same concern for UGL, and I was told that regardless of the outcome of the 0% increase vote in the budget, our class sizes would not be affected, and now it looks differently. I was told by one board member that he didn't understand why I was even concerned, that it was not something the board was trying to do, and here I am again with some very real concerns. Currently, my daughter Autumn is in Miss Accardi's third grade classroom with a total of 16 students. She's having a very successful year because Mrs. Accardi has been able to give her the one-on-one and small group instruction she needs to succeed. My daughter is your average third grader who works very hard to keep up with the curriculum. She does not test low enough to have official remediation, but is excelling because of her amazing teachers and the classes being manageable since kindergarten. I've donated a lot of my time at UGL over the past 7 years. I've been a class mom, a Girl Scout leader, an active PTA member, involved at many school functions. Being in the classroom regularly, not only as a mom, but a former teacher myself, I recognize how much differentiated instruction these teachers are implementing within the classrooms to address the different learning styles and emotional maturity levels of this group of third graders. My goal as a teacher was always to plan lessons that were tiered to teach every child at every level so they could grow. Every classroom, no matter how big, has different levels of learners. We all know that. And the bigger the class, the harder it is to reach all of them. Common sense. I feel that differentiated instruction is one of the most important skills of a good teacher. Currently, my daughter continues to keep her head above water with the third grade curriculum, and I'm so thankful for that. I cannot even imagine, with these 6 elementary school teachers that are going to be cut, what would happen next year if Autumn was put into a class of 24. Being the average student that she is, I'll be honest, I know how the story goes. I've been a teacher in those rooms of 24. The average kid gets lost sometimes. The bigger the class, the harder it is to reach every child's learning style, in addition to their emotional maturity at the age of just 9 and 10. Keeping class sizes smaller is a primary goal in any school district. With all the 0% increases we've previous board vote on, it seems that your hands are tied in some situations and you have to make cuts, not only where it hurts our children, but also in areas that do not allow us to move forward in improving our children's education. We are going to go backwards if we send these 48 children into big classes. They only know how small class is since kindergarten. We may be setting them up for failure. It's not fair to the children. Everyone in this room wants the best for our district as a whole. UGL's third grade has 48 students. We actually got a new one today. I just found out. 49. But we're the highest third graders of the 3 sections in the district. I only know the data of the number of bodies, and I'm hoping that you have access to the classified data, the data that will paint the picture of this particular third grade class as a community of learners that needs more than anyone else 3 sections moving into 4th grade. I don't think anyone can truly understand this unless you go into these classrooms, see for yourself what it is to teach these individuals in their community of learners. I ask you all to please observe these classrooms of 3 sections and step foot into the shoes of a 3rd grader at UGL for a day before you have to combine them for next year. As a voice of a 3rd grade parent of UGL, I leave you tonight with homework to look at these classes as a whole community of learners on an individual school basis and not bodies and desks based on enrollment numbers. We hope that this is put into consideration when reviewing the proposed budget for next year, and you can spare our children's learning environment so that we can all continue to move forward and not backwards. Thank you for your time and attention to this matter. Have a good night.
Thank you. Is anyone else signed up? No. Would anyone like to speak on an agenda item?
Well, that's my question. So Madison McIntyre talked about the District Arts Festival. This is actually just a kudo for somebody.
Yeah. That's what I forgot to say. District Art Festival. The festival is, I think it's the 28th, right?
Tracy Huber, West Milford. I'd just like to take a minute to give a shout out of appreciation and a huge thank you to Mr. Borno for writing a letter of support in support of Ringwood Manor Association of the Arts grant application for a new barn gallery roof. One of the many great programs RMAA provides is the annual Young Artist Expo, and for those of you who may not be aware, and I'm quoting Leah Madsen, who's the VP of RMAA, this is from their actual grant application. The Young Artist Expo is an open show for student artists in grades 4 through 12. The expo is designed as a student exhibition, yet the quality of the work entered demonstrated a significant amount of thought and superior execution by the students. The expo is also a tribute to the teachers who instruct our exhibitors The RMAA focuses on partnerships with area schools and art educators to provide an exhibition opportunity for budding artists, especially those who may be underserved by the public schools. The RMAA exhibition provides an opportunity for those homeschooled, those on the autism spectrum, children with special needs, or suffering from illness. Seeing the joy these artists find in our exhibition is one of our greatest successes. As a parent of a child who has been entering paintings in this exhibit since 6th grade here in West Milford, I know that West Milford, well known for excelling in the arts, has been a supportive partner with students participating in the show for many, many years, winning many awards, but also just getting the pride from seeing their work hanging in the exhibit and being viewed and enjoyed by over 1,000 visitors every spring. Thank you again to Mr. Borno for writing such a wonderful letter of support under an extreme time crunch and for doing so enthusiastically and without hesitation or need for jumping through any administrative hoops or roadblocks. Hopefully, with support like his and that from other school leaders, the Barn Gallery will get its roof and be able to host programs like this one for many years to come. For anybody who doesn't know, the 38th Annual Young Artist Expo will be held from April 25th to May 15th in the historic Ringwood Manor Carriage Barn Gallery. I hope that some members of the administration, board, and the public will come out and support RMAA and all of the amazing West Milford artists and artists from other districts by stopping by the expo. Thank you.
Thank you.
And thanks again to Mr. Borno.
Anyone else like to speak?
Hi, Jennifer King, 38C Lexington Lane, KING. I'm a Paradise Snow parent, and much like the UGL parents, I have a third grader. I actually have two children in the district. I have a seventh grader who was in classes where there were 24 children, and I have a third grader who has thankfully been in classes where there are 15 to 16 children. We have 2 or 3 less than you guys, so they definitely win that one, but we still have, 46 to 47 third graders who will be going forward to 4th grade. The difference I've seen between what my son has been able to learn and my daughter has been able to learn is night and day. Mrs. Ricker, my son's 3rd grade teacher, has been able to do amazing things. Yesterday, when I was at PK, because Marion Blumenthal Lazen was here, as she's a Holocaust survivor, and the middle school and all of the elementary school PTAs brought her in. So I had brought her, because I was chauffeuring her, back to PK for lunch. The 3rd grade was able to be in the hallway doing science. These things can't happen if you have 2 classes of 24, because the teachers are not able to work with each of the different levels. With math, Mrs. Ricker has 3 different groups. She has the high group, so the kids that are at the higher end are not bored. She has the kids that are average, who are where they should be, and she's able to work with them and give them what they need. And then the kids that are struggling get more individualized attention. Making these classes bigger is going to take all of these positives away and also affect their future education. So please, please try and figure out a way to keep that. All of our students need that. All of our children need that. And to make our district a better district educationally and emotionally, socially, that's needed. It also gives the teachers the ability to see where there are emotional issues, because they're not so spread out. So they are able to then say, go to the principals, go to the social workers, and say, I'm concerned about this child, this is what I'm seeing. And if they have to worry about 23 other children, that one child who might be quiet because they're getting picked on may get overlooked. So again, please try and figure out a way to keep that so that our district can continue to improve and our children's education can continue to be at the level we have been fortunate enough to see, at least for my second child. Thank you.
Thank you. Would anyone else like to speak? If not,
Seeing none, move to close and move on public comments.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. Okay, we need a motion.
All right, just want to make one amendment to the agenda on page 6. Education Resolution Number 3, we have an extra HIB that were added. It's going to be 2018 E-16, and that is going to be substantiated.
And also, just to remind the board, the budget resolution is been updated and it's in a hand carry.
Okay. Yeah, there's a few hand carries. So I need a motion.
Move to adopt the agenda as presented, amended with the hand carries.
Second.
I need a vote on that. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, we'll move on to personnel. Mrs. O'Brien.
Before I do personnel, I have a very quick question with the hand carry. Item 18, should I?
Should hold that till after
table?
executive session.
Okay. So I just hold.
Just don't vote on it. It's just like the HIVs, we'll do it after executive session.
Okay, fine, thank you. I'd like to make a motion to approve items 1 through, we'll start with 1 through 15, and close next to the
Second.
Discussion? Mr.
More
Huber?
of a comment. I see on number 1 that Mr. Anton is resigning. I'd like to thank him for his service. He is the most phenomenal math teacher that actually, of all the teachers, he's probably the most effective teacher any of my children have had while they were moving through this district. And I'm sad that we weren't able to retain him.
He's retiring.
I realize. Early.
He's lucky.
So anyway, I wanted to throw that out there. He's a really amazing math teacher that was able to reach kids no matter how difficult. In fact, he was able to help my middle child with algebra via text more effectively than what he was getting in the classroom. So,
Thank you.
fabulous.
Any other discussion? If not, Mrs. Francisco, roll call.
Mr. Bailey?
Yes.
Mrs. O'Brien?
Yes.
Mr. Guarino?
Yes.
Mr. Huber?
Yes.
Mr. Seidowitz?
Yes.
Mr. Drew?
Yes.
Mrs. Fritz?
Yes.
Mrs. Van Dyke?
Yes.
I'd like to make a motion to move items 16 and 17, 18 to go out of executive session.
Second.
Any discussion on the items? If not, Mrs. Francisco?
Mr. Bailey?
Yes.
Mrs. O'Brien?
Yes.
Mrs. Fritz?
Yes.
Mr. Huber?
Yes.
Mr. Seidowitz?
Yes.
Mr. Drew?
Yes.
Mr. Guarino?
Yes.
Mrs. Van Dyke?
Yes. Okay. And we will move on now to education. Mr. Drew, would you like to take education since you were there?
Sure.
I think there's a hand carry too under education.
Let's move items 1 to 4. Is that right? The hand carry is 3, replacing 3?
I don't think it.
Or it is 3.
No, it's 4.
It needs to be 1, 2, and 4.
But 3 is for after executive
Right.
session.
Right, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Okay, so 1, 2, and 4. Thank you.
Yes.
Second.
Any discussion?
Sorry I wasn't prepared.
Oh, that's okay. Off the cuff. Any discussion? If not, Mrs. Francisco?
Mrs. O'Brien?
Yes.
Mr. Guarino?
Yes.
Mr. Huber?
Yes.
Mrs. Fritz?
Yes.
Mr. Seidowitz?
Yes.
Mr. Bailey?
Yes.
Mr. Drew?
Yes.
Mrs. Van Dyke?
Yes. And that's for after executive session. We're going to move to budget and finance.
Approve items number 2 through 7 under Budget and Finance, please.
Second.
Discussion? If not, go ahead, Mrs. Francisco.
I have a question.
Oh, I'm sorry, didn't see that.
Number 6. With the bubbling students, they can't use it for busing. It's at a cost of $10 a day. Are they paying for the bus driver or we?
Oh, that's a part of the cost.
Okay. So the $10 is above actual costs.
This is an annual agreement that we have with them.
This sounds like they're paying $10 a day for the bus. And I'm just wondering
It's, the bus driver's salary is probably prorated, because it's probably only a short period of time that they're driving. We have summer bus drivers, so they're probably already on the depot, and they probably just pick up the extra work.
Okay.
I could
Anything-
find out, though. I mean, if you want clarification, I could find out.
It seems like an odd deal.
Do you want it, are you looking to table that, or?
I mean, if you want to
I don't think there's any rush, is there? I mean, it wouldn't.
No.
I think we could, right? So I'll make a motion to table it until next meeting.
So that's an amendment, right?
No, it's just a motion to table.
Okay.
If there's a second, then we just vote.
We need a second to table?
Which item?
Number 6. And the question is $10 a day. Seems like it would cost us more than that.
Anyone? Okay.
Okay.
All right, sorry.
So it's on 2 through 7.
2 through 7. Any other discussion? Okay, Mrs. Francisco?
Mr. Seidowitz.
Yes.
Mr. Huber.
No to number 6, yes to the rest.
Mr. Drew.
Yes.
Mr. Guarino.
Yes.
Mr. Bailey.
Yes.
Ms. O'Brien.
Yes.
Mrs. Fritz.
Yes.
Mrs. Van Dyke.
Yes.
I'd like to move number 8 under Budget and Finance, please.
Second.
Any discussion? Mrs. Francisco?
Mr. Seidowitz.
Yes.
Mr. Guarino.
Yes.
Mrs. Fritz.
Yes.
Mrs. Dwyer. Oh, I'm sorry.
She's in Florida.
Yeah, I know.
No.
I got the text from my brother, too, yeah. 90
Rubbing it
degrees.
in.
Uh-huh. Ms. O'Brien.
I'm here and I say yes.
Mr. Huber.
Yes to utilities, abstain to the rest.
Mr. Bailey.
Yes.
Mr. Drew.
Yes.
Mrs. Van Dyke.
Yes.
I'd like to move item number 9 under Budget and Finance, please.
Second.
Discussion? Mrs. Francisco?
Mr. Bailey.
Yes.
Mrs. O'Brien.
Yes.
Mr. Seidowitz.
Yes.
Mrs. Fritz.
Yes.
Mr. Guarino.
Abstain.
Mr. Drew.
Yes.
Mr. Huber.
Yes.
Mrs. Van Dyke.
I abstain.
I'd like to move item number 10 under Budget and Finance, please.
Second.
Discussion? Mrs. Francisco?
Ms. O'Brien.
Yes.
Mr. Bailey.
Yes.
Mr. Guarino.
Yes.
Mr. Seidowitz.
Yes.
Mr. Huber.
Yes.
Mrs. Fritz.
Yes.
Mr. Drew.
Yes.
Mrs. Van Dyke.
Yes.
I'd like to move items number 11 and 12 under Budget and Finance, please.
Second.
Any discussion? Mrs. Francisco?
Mrs. Fritz.
Yes.
Mr. Drew.
Yes.
Ms. O'Brien.
Yes.
Mr. Seidowitz.
Yes.
Mr. Huber.
Yes.
Mr. Guarino.
Yes.
Mr. Bailey.
Yes.
Mrs. Van Dyke.
Yes.
I'd like to move the revised item number 1 under Budget and Finance, please.
Second.
Discussion? If not, Mrs. Francisco?
I would,
Oh, okay, I'm sorry, I didn't, okay.
thank you, I appreciate it. guess what I'll just do is make the amendment and see if we get a second and we can discuss it. I would like to amend the budget as proposed to consider doing the roof repair at Maple Road as a bond rather than including it in this year's operation. The reason to consider that, as opposed to $1 million coming out of current operating funds, my quick calculations, if we did a 10-year bond, we should do that and then discuss. Yeah, let's do that. All right.
So I have a question. Is the motion to remove the project and the dollars associated with it, or to remove the project but leave the money into the budget for other items?
Actually, I want to do the project. I want to fund it with a bond.
Well, that would be a totally separate issue. This is just for the budget. So
You want to remove it altogether?
do you want to remove it altogether with the dollars associated with it? So let's say it's $1 million. Do you want to take the $1 million out of the budget, or do you want to leave the $1 million in but take the roof project out so that $1 million is used for something else? I don't know how much it is.
No, I want to take the $1 million out of this budget, but
It's $950,000. Let's
Yeah,
be clear
right.
about that.
Well, I was just using that number because I don't have it in front
Let's
of
be
me.
clear, let's not take $1 million when it's 950. Yeah.
Okay, so you want to remove the project and
50,000
reduce
goes a
the
long
budget
way.
by
It's
that
almost a
amount?
teacher.
Yes.
Okay, I just wanted to be clear on what that was.
So the amendment is to take it out of the budget.
To remove the roof project and take it out of the budget.
And you're seconding
It
that
doesn't-
amendment.
And just to be clear, what he was saying was that we could still do the project, but it would have to be as a bond, so the voters would have to vote on that project.
Which would make
It's
it
a
not
totally
this year.
separate issue, yeah.
Okay.
I have a question on that motion.
Don't we have to do something with the
No,
amendment?
it was-
We're okay?
it was
Okay, okay.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but doesn't the state pay for portions of bonding
Yes.
issues?
They would pay, I believe, 40% of the amount that we're financing and the interest. So in fact, one of the amendments that we've got to, that when we got the numbers from the state, part of that was increase in their funding, but part of it was a deferment of the bond payments. So yes, and part of the reason to do this is that the total expenditure to the district becomes less.
I have a
substantially less.
question. I have a question.
Yeah.
What, with the timeline, if we had to do that, does that mean that the roof would have to wait another year before it's touched?
Yes, and you're going to incur costs for bond counsel,
Okay.
the auditor, the election expense, and those are not recoupable expenses.
Right, and this, ideally, the state would pay all of that 40%, but we don't know what they would pay until we submit the plans for it and then have the budget estimates come back. And cost estimates is another cost that we have to pay for that's not included in architectural fees. It's a
Right.
separate cost.
When we
The
did-
submission costs.
Yeah.
Okay, let Nicole had her hand
Oh,
up.
sorry.
That's okay, I didn't raise it very high. My concern with doing that is, my understanding is that at least portions of that roof are in pretty rough shape, and I think we run into some safety issues, and at what point are we gonna, exacerbate that problem before there's a safety issue involved, and I don't know, I think that last year, it was supposed to be done a couple of years, last year or the year before?
No, I
it
think
was in there
it's
in a
2
couple,
years.
So I understand where you're coming from with trying to move the money from one place to another, but I am a little concerned that holding off is maybe not the best idea for that.
It's also in stages, correct?
When we got the proposal, it was in 4 sections. And what I'm recommending, the original cost for the roof was $1,300,000. And what I did in building the budget, I broke it down so that we could do the stage that's in the worst shape and do the remaining sections at alternates. So if we do get a good price, you might be able to do more of the roof for the same amount of money.
Oh, okay. My concern on the roof itself is that it's been put off and we've had a really bad winter. And we've got feet of snow sitting on that roof. And if we had to put it back to June, I think that we would really be putting ourselves in a precarious situation where there is a possibility that that roof could let go. And having been here when a roof is let go, it's not such a great thing to happen. So if we had had other roofs, I know that not having been here last time, it wasn't in the referendum for some reason last time, and I don't know why. But for not having done that, I would not be in favor of that. Not because I don't want to save the money. I totally agree with you on the referendum end of it. But it sounds like the cost end to do it, plus the waiting of another year to get the roof done, would, to me, be not a wise decision on our part. But that's, my own opinion. Go ahead, Mr. Huber.
Yeah, I have a question. Do we have any report from a contractor or anybody about a safety issue?
Safety issue?
Yeah. Mrs.
Well,
Van
it's-
Dyke was just talking about the roof letting go.
Well, we had
And
that
I want to know
problem.
if there's any credible basis for that.
Well, we had that problem at Maccaben School before I got here.
That,
I was here.
That has nothing to do with it.
No,
It's
it's
not
a
relevant.
roof, and we've got things.
Yeah.
Can you tell whether it's structurally sound? I don't know that is really the issue. I think it's more that you're having water infiltrate the ceilings and coming into the school.
Well, my thought is that if there's a safety issue, we shouldn't have the children under the roof. They should be elsewhere.
Well, what I am saying, Mr. Huber, is that we have a winter where we are putting a lot of snow and water on that roof, and the roof is leaking. So should we say we should go another whole winter and spring and let the roof continue to leak after the board has put it off now for 3 years? That's I mean, does anybody else not? Mr. Drew?
Those are very, very legitimate questions. Purely on the financial side, the roughly $1 million, I know it's a little less, and there's some pennies here and there and so on and so forth. But, that's money we spend now. If we bond for that with some of those additional costs, it comes out to a little over $70,000 a year for probably 10 years, although we would have to decide that. That's a difference, and again, purely on the financial side, of almost 2% in the proposed tax increase versus something more along the lines of 0.2%. I think it would make sense at the same time, if we were going to do that we should include all of the phases, not just the one, include the whole thing. And this is not part of the question, but I think we have some serious discussions we ought to have about potential safety issues in the schools. So there may be several things that we ought to look at in there, but in terms of just purely the financial impact, it's major. There's a lot. The question about whether or not is this safe or not, we're obviously in a period right now where it freezes at night, it melts in the day. We've all seen what that does to roads and everything else. That every time it freezes, it expands, it makes the gap bigger, and we're about to go through another week of that and maybe more. Happy vernal equinox, by the way. And there's a good chance we would have that next winter. I'm kind of thinking personally that I'd like to find out more about how imminent this problem is before we make a decision. I think the safety of the kids and whether this is a huge issue or not, ought to impact on whether we do something like this. If we could, it makes a huge, huge difference on the tax levy.
I was over there about 2 weeks ago with Mr. Kane, and at a few different spots in the school, multiple classrooms, there's active leaks. So there's basically a giant funnel that we've rigged up to the roof with a long tube that snakes all the way down to a bucket. When it fills up, we drag it outside, we dump it out, and then we bring the bucket back. But it's in a handful of classrooms. We can't really, it's hard to patch this time of year. Once the snow melts for good in April, we'll get up there, we'll patch it, but we're running out of the ability to continue to patch. This was, if you look backwards a year ago, 12 months, this was in the budget for this year. So had that been approved in the current budget, we would be right now in a completely different situation. So it's always easier to push off a capital project out 1 year and save the money, out 1 year and save the money, but at some point it just becomes unbearable during the environment. I don't know if this is a safety issue or not, but it's certainly an inconvenient environment to have tubes snaking through the classroom and emptying water. All this snow is melting, and little by little, it's just it's becoming untenable. So hindsight's 2020. We probably should have done it in last year's budget. We didn't. No sense compounding that error now moving forward.
Ray, did you have something?
I was going to say, if we're saying it's a safety issue, maybe it needs to be done right now then.
Well, we're not, though. That's the
Well, but I'm saying based on what Steve is saying.
I have a question for Joe. What would be the minimum timeline for a bond issue? And how would that work starting today if we chose to do it?
If we started it today, we could probably, you can only do a bond 5 times a year. We could probably get it, I would say, on December's ballot. But the problem in December is getting people to come, it's legitimately getting people to come out to vote in December. So the next one after that is January, and then the next one after that is March. I don't think we can get it before December on the ballot.
It takes about 6 months.
We couldn't.
Anyone? Mr. Bailey?
Well, we might be able to get it to the November meeting, to the November ballot.
That's what I was thinking.
Still wouldn't start the work.
We would be able to start the work sometime after that, in June, I guess, when the kids are out.
Mr. Bailey?
Clarification, Mrs. President. The next vote we take is going to be on what?
The amendment.
The amendment.
To remove the roof project.
Okay.
And the $950,000 associated with it.
Out of the budget. There's 8 members present here tonight?
Yes.
How does the voting go tonight? Do we need 5?
You would need 5.
Okay. So all night long as we go through this part of the agenda, it's 5 carries it and 4-4 would be.
Right, 4-4 would be a no, because it wouldn't pass. You would need 5 for every vote tonight.
5 all night.
Yep.
Okay, well, now I only need 4, because I'm voting no against this, because I've never heard of such a thing. If you're telling me we have bunk over there, I see them on the roof actually shoveling the snow, that's another subject, our head custodian. But if you're telling me there's actually a building in West Milford where we're emptying the buckets of water in the midst of the warmest February on record where it was not an issue, but now for some reason this March is as bad as anything any of us have seen around here in quite some time. So, it's as if there's a lot of things working against us, and the bottom line is this is a bad time to have a bad roof over our students, over ourselves and our homes, over George Bailey's doghouse. So the point is, enough of this already. If our professionals, administrators, are not coming up with these ideas, I really have a hard time embracing these types of situations that are presented by my colleagues who are lay people. So I would request that we call the question and begin to move on with the rest of this. Because no way am I voting not to put on a roof, tomorrow for that matter, that's leaking and in disrepair, because ostensibly we put it off for several budget cycles now. Is that a fair statement?
You can call the question.
I have no question.
It's not a fair statement?
No, not that.
It's a fair statement.
Thank you.
You can't call the question.
Right. You can, but I would give at least everybody the opportunity to speak.
Another question, this one's, well, a couple questions for Barbara. One, how much is the first phase? How much does it cost?
I'm sorry, what?
How much does the first phase cost?
We have $950,000 in the budget for it.
For the first phase?
Yes,
And how much does the total cost?
$1.3 million,
All right, so the bulk of it's the first phase.
yes.
All right. I'm not sure that kind of eliminates my second question. I was going to see if we could do the first phase and then bond the rest of it, but it was kind of like, the first phase is most of it.
There's two things.
But Barbara's also saying that there's a possibility that they might be able to work it in at that number.
You know, we were fortunate with the roof replacement at the Macapin and the high school, because the contractor that was successful in the bid process came in $1 million less than every other contractor that bid on that roof project. So we were fortunate. We got a lot for the money. We'll try it again. Whenever you have a bid situation, you always put in more as an alternate and see what you can get within your budget.
Any other discussion?
One more thing. If we were to do a bond, I know I frustrate you.
No, because
If we were to do a bond, it's something else to consider. I've been thinking about school security. All right, if we were to do a bond, there would be an ability for us to take more swift action to add security measures to the schools that we may not already have, locking mechanisms for doors, and
I think you're on a
visual-
separate
No, we're
referendum
talking
type
about a
of
bond. If we're going to do a bond, you can add more than one thing into it. Right, John?
Yeah, you can throw whatever you want into it.
And we could also look at other capital projects that may need to be done, get them into the bond at the same time. It saves the district a ton of money, the taxpayers a ton of money, because of the state aid that goes with it, and it spreads the payments out, so that also doesn't impact the taxpayers as badly. So it's kind of tough, because we want to do the roof right now, but on the other hand, the benefits are so big, and we can add other things into it that we really need, and that we should do, instead of waiting years to do them. We shouldn't wait years to do security. I mean, the Maryland...
I think that's a different discussion.
Yeah.
I feel like the security is spread out.
I'm talking about the benefits of bond, yeah.
Mrs. O'Brien and then Mrs. Fritz.
Thank you. We're under the assumption that the bond would pass, and that's a big if. Been here 30 years. If I remember correctly, it's probably 2/3 of the time bonds don't pass. I'm wrong, I'm taking this, I'm be honest with you, it's off the top of my head. But we're assuming the bonds will pass. We're at the mercy of the voters. So I'd like for you guys to keep that in mind.
Mrs. Fritz.
If I recall, there was something in the plans for next year that was not in detail, but for security as well. There were some things that you were planning to look in there, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, we're in the midst of a fairly large security audit district-wide. It's multi-layered. I am going to each PTA meeting in every school in the district to meet with the parents of each PTA. We are also meeting administratively with some vendors now to take a look at our security, what we have now, what we could do better, how much would it cost, how soon can we get it done. So we don't have the exact items yet in mind, but we do have some money budgeted for, not as much as we would like, and certainly that could certainly change between now, the preliminary budget, and the public hearing in late April, because we are still looking at potentially some health benefit savings between now and then. That's something we could possibly roll. If there's any savings in health benefits, that could be rolled into a school security measure. But that's something that does cost money, and it is an ongoing discussion that we're having administratively, as also with the board in our budget and finance committee meetings.
I don't disagree that that's something that's definitely a priority, but I think it's something that also is going to take some time and analysis, and we shouldn't be hasty with that. But at the same time, I agree with Greg, we shouldn't be playing roulette with a roof. That's years overdue of being done. I think it's a necessary evil. I mean, you have to take care of these buildings. I think it's just not something we should put off any longer.
I'm going to call the question now because discussion's been. So now
This is on the amendment.
On the amendment, yes.
Should we remove 950?
To remove the roof and the
Whatever the amount is.
Yeah, 950. Mr. Bailey?
No.
Mr. Seidowitz?
Yes.
Mr. Drew?
Yes.
Mrs. Fritz?
No.
Mr. Guarino,
Come back to me.
Mr. Huber,
Yes.
Ms. O'Brien,
No.
Mrs. Van Dyke,
No.
Mr. Guarino.
No.
Okay.
Motion fails.
All right, so now it's back to the original motion.
For the budget itself. Any discussion? Mr. Syowitz?
I felt it wasn't germane to bring it up before, but now, did the administration explore the potential lease purchase for a roof?
I don't know that that's a
No,
possibility.
you can lease
Not
purchase
viable.
It's hard to own the
equipment,
building.
items.
You can't lease it.
You can't lease
Yeah.
a roof.
They can't take it back.
Own the building.
Are you doing this on a
Online and
5-year
these other
payout?
things too, so-
Are you doing the roof on a 5-year
No.
payout or outright?
No, outright. It's a capital project that you
Yeah,
would, you pay for.
You can't lease purchase a capital project. You can lease purchase capital items like buses, computers, basically almost anything else, but not an improvement to a building.
Yeah, the
Can you
the infrastructure.
finance
That's what lease purchasing is for school
Yeah.
districts. It's financing.
Anyone else?
I have a
Mr. Drew?
question, if I can. I think I agree. If we've got an imminent problem with the roof, we've got to fix the roof. But what I might like to see between now and when we do a final on this is, the snow will be off, we'll be in a better position to go assess that from some kind of
I
professional.
have pictures if anyone would like to see them.
Oh, I know that roof's in terrible shape. I've seen pictures. The question is whether, is there anything we can do in the short term that would extend the life until we could get it bonded? And if we can't, that's a done
I
deal.
don't think so. Based upon the pictures and the deterioration, I don't believe so.
Any other discussion? If not, Mrs. Francisco? This is on the budget.
This is on the item.
Preliminary budget,
Mhm.
right? The preliminary budget.
Mm-hmm. Mr. Seidowitz.
No.
Mr. Huber.
Come back to me.
Mr. Drew.
No.
Mr. Guarino.
Yes.
Mr. Bailey.
Yes.
Mrs. O'Brien.
Yes.
Mrs. Fritz.
Yes.
Mrs. Van Dyke.
Yes.
Mr. Huber.
No.
Motion carries.
We're going to move on to policy. Mr. Guarino?
I'll approve.
I'd like to make a motion to approve 1 through 4 policy.
Second.
Discussion?
Yes. I'd like to, if we could, do separate votes on separating the substance abuse policy from the attendance policy. There's 3 items in the policy. First, on the substance abuse,
There's 2 items.
There's 2
for
items on the
attendance.
attendance.
1 and 2 are
Separate
attendance,
substance.
3 and 4 are substance.
I'm sorry, we're,
Substance. 1 and 2 attendance, 3 and 4 substance.
Okay, I'm
So
sorry.
you separate 1 and 2
yeah,
and 3 and 4.
right.
You want it for a separate vote, is that what you want 2 and
So
3
one-
Yes,
separate?
please.
So just move
3
1
and
and
4
2.
separate.
3 and 4 separate.
So
I'm sorry, I'm having trouble.
are you okay with that, Mr. Guarino?
Yeah.
Because the motion was on, okay.
There we go. All right.
Can we
So-
amend, we have to amend?
No, because he made the motion already, so if Glenn had said that before the motion was made, it would be no issue, but he's already agreed that the motion, so it's fine.
It's, all right. So, the substance abuse policy, I'd like to ask, I think this is probably the case, but I want to confirm, this is pretty much all Strauss ESPA? Okay. Now,
I was going to say, I also did a substantial review of the policy.
Yes.
Okay.
So, and I
All right.
made a number of changes as well.
Because it was a
Yeah.
big pot.
Yeah, it was
a
huge.
big lot of changes.
okay. There are some things in here that I think just are drafting issues, maybe, that we need to talk about and maybe polish it up a little bit. I don't have any significant objection to what we're doing here, but I think that it could be clarified in certain instances. One thing that I would like to clarify, because it doesn't say at all, is items of paraphernalia. All right, this is on the regulation, okay? Items of paraphernalia. I'd like to clarify that they're be confiscated and not returned, and when necessary, preserved and turned over to West Milford Police Department.
We would not return confiscated items to a student.
Well, it doesn't say anything about confiscating in the policy, in the regulation at all.
Regulations or policy typically don't cover every single possible occurrence at a school, but there's no reasonable administrator that would confiscate drugs from a student and then return the drugs to the
I'm thinking more the
student.
paraphernalia. People are going to say, well, it's vaping pipes, it's not drugs, give it back to me.
You and I both know that's not what.
But if it's illegal.
Right.
So, I do have a question about number 7, A7. It has to do with activities, extracurricular and interscholastic, intramural and athletics activities, and being suspended, I believe.
This is in the
The A7 is the definition of
the
those.
definitions of these
That's the
items.
definition. And it's not really clear on whether the band is included in that. Now, I know the band gets a grade. So it says it exempts things that are not required by the Board of Education for graduation. Now, I don't think we should penalize anybody's grade, but on the other hand, I think that, band is very much an extracurricular activity. So it should be included in there. And part of this whole thing with the
I believe extracurricular covers that. Band, color guard, things of that nature.
The problem is band gets a grade, right?
I'm not sure.
The marching part of it?
No, the marching band.
Band classes.
Oh, okay, the marching
There's a
band.
class.
I had understood that there was extracurricular stuff that the band class counted in the grade.
Yeah, band members are not exempt from this regulation.
Okay, great.
Yeah, that's for sure.
That's one down. Okay. What is considered as over-the-counter products in B1A?
Definition?
B1A.
It's under consequences.
Isn't there a
Regarding
definition of
over-the-counter products or paraphernalia? And I didn't see over-the-counter products in the definitions.
I think there is a definition.
There is one.
There is one in there?
Which I
Yeah, there is a definition on page, it's a A13, over-the-counter products defined as medicines that are sold directly to a consumer without the need or inclusion of a prescription from a healthcare professional.
Sorry, I missed that. Okay, super.
It's the first reading, right?
This is the first reading, yes.
All right. Sorry, I gotta find on B, I guess B6 under first offense. You have, it's under first and second offense. There's parental reentry conference required, but nowhere does it define what, say what a parental conference consists of. But there is a definition in C5 that I think would be adequate. So I'm just going to ask that it be conformed to add that as a definition. C5 kind of just includes it and then adds a little bit more language to kind of give an idea of what's supposed to be for a parental conference.
Does it describe it?
It's not clear, he's saying it's not clear that it's a conference with
So
a
in other
parent.
words, parental conference, but if you read C5, it says at the time the student is scheduled to return to school,
Right.
reentry meeting will be held, including not limited to students, parents, school counselors, so who's included in the reentry
That's fine.
meeting?
Because it could be different, right? It could be a discussion just with the student for certain things, right?
Well, parental reentry conference is a meeting with the parents and the administrators, and if the administration believes that additional staff members should be part of that conference, they will invite the student assistance counselor, guidance counselor,
Right.
whoever else they
My
believe.
concern is, and, because I can really see this happening, is that the parental reentry conference turns into a phone call, which kind of plays down the importance of it.
No,
And
it's,
I'm thinking that it needs to be put in here as something formal, something important.
You think if they had something like that, they would do it over the phone?
I can believe it.
The reentry meetings, I mean, I could speak to this because we also do reentry meetings after risk assessments. And every reentry meeting I've ever been involved in at the high school or at the Highlander Academy, it has always been face-to-face. So I've never seen where the parent is done over the phone. I'll just say that from a practice standpoint.
I've never heard of it either.
It
It's
kind of says that they have to be there.
Okay.
Is that it?
No. Under second offenses, well, let me put it this way. Under third offense, there's a 1A, okay, where it says, at the superintendent's option, a meeting with the superintendent and or principal will be held with the students and parents to develop a behavioral drug treatment-related contract. I don't think we should be waiting for the third offense for that. All right? If we actually caught them the second time, it means they've been doing a lot more. So I think we should have that inserted into under the second offense as well. That would actually be a bit of a change.
But this
But
is the
I think,
policy that's
but it is at the superintendent's discretion. So I think it's flexible, but I think that it would be something that we should have there. Because if you wait till the third offense, there's an awful lot more going on. If you catch a kid 3 times in the school setting, there's a lot more going on than that. All right.
So are we making like amendments to
No, this is just the first reading.
So-
Mr. Huber is telling what he feels should be amended. This would be approving the first reading, and then we could go back and make these changes
Oh, okay,
before the second
okay,
reading.
that's what I,
That's the point of a second reading. That's why you do it twice.
Mr. Bailey, do you
Well, I
have
was
a?
going to ask that question, so thank you. This is a first reading. And also, as we pick this apart in this board setting, I sort of get it, but my question is, each policy, when it's revised or rewritten or modified, isn't it reviewed by policy reviewing professionals, if you will, to make sure that it adheres to all the statutes, we're trampling all over people's rights and, in other words, there's a safeguard so that lay people, elected board members like ourselves, are just not picking these things apart willy-nilly. And the point is, what will I know as opposed to a policy review professional, and that might be / an attorney. So I think we're traveling down a slippery slope because these things, when they come before an esteemed body like the Board of Ed for approval the first or second reading, have been vetted properly before we take final action, first or second reading. Is that a true statement?
Well, that's the policy committee met and made the policy.
Right.
They wrote the changes. They sent it, from Strauss Esme. They got it from Strauss Esme. It came to me.
From who?
From Strauss Esme, our policy
You're
consultant.
the professional policy
They write the policy.
Yes, sir.
The committee reviews it and changes it how they would like it to be changed. It was sent to me to review as well. I did the same thing. And then it's before the board for a first reading. That's where we're at.
Okay. I just want to make sure, I want to have some assurances before I cast my vote that the things were properly vetted, because I don't have...
Yeah, I think the policy has been properly vetted. I would say that these additional concerns from Mr. Huber are just that, additional concerns and language changes.
Would it have to go back to you now after this?
No, this is the whole point of this first and
Okay.
second reading.
Okay. Next, under possession,
I wish you had called or something. This
You
would
know,
be so
honestly,
much easier.
you know,
to
I'd
get
like to
that.
address that, because last meeting, there was a parent that came and really didn't understand the process, and she kind of scolded a little bit. And it's understandable if you don't understand what's going on. Most of the public don't understand that we get our amendments and materials the Friday before a meeting. So if you have any life that, demands on you that you're working on Friday, you get it Friday night, usually after dinner. Then if your family has anything going on the weekend can be shot. I mean, my kids are scouting. I have 3 kids. A lot of times the weekends are taken up. So if you work Monday, there's not a whole heck of a lot of time to get through all the material. And
I can appreciate that, but
daytime
they're here
hours.
before, they're here at 6 o'clock. I mean, somebody's here, at least, even if you wanted to raise it, at least if you had the questions to them at 6 o'clock, they could be prepared. We could have the questions answered instead of just going through it like one by one.
I didn't get home until 6:10.
Okay, well, we all do have
Okay.
time constraints, and
No,
I
actually,
understand that.
Tonight it was like 6:40, wasn't it?
But,
Yeah.
let's just, but it would be really helpful, because I have asked for all 4 administrators to be available to each one of us, so that when we do this, it doesn't look like we're fumbling through everything, because we have no idea what the question's going to be, and it just comes off the top of the head. It would be wonderful if, now I'm not saying you can't speak about it, but if you at least give them a heads up so that they have the answers for what you would like.
Noted. Okay, so under number 1 under possession, it basically says that if the possession amount is a statutory amount, like for criminal action, then we do something. All right, and if not, I don't know that we do anything. So my question is what do we do when there's a possession that does not meet the legal threshold for criminal action?
We follow up. I mean, I do feel a little bit as though part of the recommendations that you're making are getting into the administrative part of our jobs, and not necessarily at the central office level, but at the building level. I know, and I'm answering it. But the concern that I have is that what you just questioned as to, well, what happens if we're not taking action, is the fact that the building administration, the child study team, the guidance counselor, maybe it was the teacher that was involved, all the professionals that are working with that student follows up with that student. Maybe it's through counseling, maybe it's through a session, maybe it's just a matter of what just happened, and then kind of like following up with that student as to maybe they're going on some social issues, whatever it may be. So I think that I don't think, and Mr. Roselli, correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think you can get into like every single aspect of what happens when it's not a violation.
It's not possible, but Glenn, I have a question.
My point is mistaken.
I have a question, though. When you talk about possession, it says when a student is found to be in possession of any quantity of illegal substances, the school's categorization of possession or intent to distribute or distribution shall be determined by local police. So that talks about any quantity. So I'm not sure what the issue is.
Mr. Guarino, when he answers this question.
It says in accordance with New Jersey legal statutes.
Well, that's when you're,
So that basically quantifies it as a statutory amount. So what I'm saying is we don't have anything in this policy that gives the administration discretion to discipline for an amount less than that, is what my point was. And I think that the policy should actually have something that gives the administration that discretion.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you could have people look at this and go, you don't have a right to do these, if it's not at least the statutory amount.
I'm unaware of a student who's able to possess any amount of an illegal drug,
Right.
whether it be a spot of it. So
Mr.
I don't know if
I'm
that's
just
the
hearing Liz
issue.
say that basically, every situation's different, and we need to trust the administration is going to deal with those things.
Well, I'm not saying not to, but
It's in a box if you start to do that.
Yeah, that was a misunderstanding. Is my point was trying to be that I don't want to leave a loophole where the administration doesn't have the ability to use their discretion.
It is against the law to have illegal
Yeah,
substances on.
Drugs are illegal, so I don't see how that's a loophole at all.
I don't know that there's a legal amount in the school.
That might change.
Maybe, it very well might, maybe after tonight.
Not for kids, not for children, no.
I move the previous question.
No.
No, you can't, because this is a reading, right? We have to.
Well, the question is, it's the first reading, but I'm just looking at the policy. I don't see the issues that are being, I mean, I understand, some of these things are questions and just clarifications, but that's the whole point of first reading. If you have a whole list of things, they should go to the policy committee and to be discussed and put into the
That's what I'm
policy.
trying to say, like, I understand you want to say it here, I get that. I get the whole picture, I've got it. But the thing what I'm saying to you is that they are available, give them the information so that they can do what you want them to do.
Here's the thing. If I don't bring it up at this meeting, I'm going to be told that I should have brought it up at this meeting.
Have I never, in anything that, if you've given us information, have we not taken it to where it needs to go? Mr. Guarino's right next to you. He is the chairperson.
Point of order, I made a motion.
We can't
Well,
move
that's not true. He did make a motion to call the question. If there's a second and a vote on it, then we would call the question. Otherwise, that's up to the board president to determine.
You're you want to move the question.
Nobody seconded it.
Mrs. Fritz, so we have to poll on that?
That has to be a vote.
Two-thirds vote.
Okay.
Now, is this the whole motion, so you're
This,
going to...
no, this is just to call the question.
Why is the question? The question?
Yes.
Because
Can he have a question on the question?
It's still separated? So
Yes,
we still have
it's still-
discussion on the absence, the party absence?
No.
An absence. Okay.
Okay, so now we have a voice vote,
No.
or it's got to be a
We
roll?
need a two-thirds vote, so it has to be a roll call. The motion was to call this question on the substitutes policy and regulation.
Mrs. Francisco.
issues, Glenn?
Mr. Bailey?
Did anybody second it?
Yes, Mrs. Fritz. This is a motion to call the question.
Yes.
Mr. Seidowitz?
Yes.
Mr. Drew?
Yes.
Mrs. Fritz?
Yes.
Mr. Guarino?
Yes.
Mr. Huber?
Nope.
Mrs. O'Brien?
Yes.
Mrs. Van Dyke?
Yes.
Okay. That passed, so now we have to take a vote on substance abuse policies 3 and 4.
3 and 4.
Yes,
Okay.
1 and 2 we haven't discussed yet.
Okay. So,
Glenn?
The motion is
That's-
to vote on.
3 and 4.
so we do,
Yep. First reading.
okay. Mrs. Francisco, 3 and 4.
Mr. Bailey?
Yes.
Mr. Seidowitz?
Yes.
Mr. Drew?
Yes.
Mrs. Fritz?
Yes.
Mr. Guarino?
Yes.
Mr. Huber?
No.
Mrs. O'Brien?
Yes.
Mrs. Van Dyke?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Okay, first reading, 3 and 4.
Okay, so now we're doing 1 and 2?
1 and 2.
Okay, so now this motion is for items 1 and 2 under policy.
Is there any discussion?
Any discussion? If not, Mrs. Francisco, got Mr. Huber.
Okay. I just like to clarify, because there's some misstatements at the last meeting with regard to what this policy actually does. Okay?
Misstatements according to you.
According to the policy.
Okay.
Okay. So basically what we had before is that anybody walking into a classroom 1 second late after the bell is subject to a tardy. Okay, it's a late which is frequently met with detention. Okay, 5 of those equal an absence. Okay, so there was already discipline to do with being late, regardless of whether it was 5 minutes or 20 minutes. The previous motion had in there that if you were 20 minutes late, which is what about, the periods are what, 50 minutes?
You said we're not going to have a forum.
I know, she's over there.
That's right, so about 40-minute class? All right, so if you're late, if you're missing half the class, it was considered a cut, which is an absence, right? Because obviously you couldn't have gotten anything out of that class. So what we're doing now is we're changing that so that there's still the same tardy policy that deals with the actual lateness, but we're cutting down the automatic absence to 5 minutes. And what that's going to do is that's going to affect, so if you have 4 absences, you lose credit for one of the shorter courses. 8 absences, you lose credit for a half-year course, and 16 absences, you lose credit for a full-year course. Now, I see this as going to be a problem for the first period class, since we do not have rotating schedules in the high school or any other school. So I think we need to...
Why do you see that as a problem?
Because
Aren't they
things
supposed to
happen.
be there?
Things happen. Parents get up late, kids get up late. It happens. It doesn't have to do with like getting from class to class in the building.
But if you're allowed.
All right, can I finish speaking, please?
Okay, sure.
All right. Now I understand that you don't agree with me sometimes. You like to shut me down. But
I think I let you talk a lot. I really do.
Well, I have a right to because I'm an elected official.
Okay, good for you.
Okay.
Let's go.
All right. So that having been said, I think that the whole tardy section of this, and I think it's a good idea to consolidate the attendance policies into one, because it was separated into 3 and it's unwieldy, okay? However, this particular section I think is really uniquely designed for the high school. So I think we should, I'll make a motion that we should designate this section as applicable to the high school, not the middle school, not the elementary schools. Okay? And, I appreciate my fellow board members for coming back.
No problem.
Could be an onion.
Wow, it's amazing how 3 people disappeared. So, what I was making a motion.
Are you questioning whether or not I went to the...
All right, all right.
Let's just get to the point of the policy,
Okay, I'll talk to you.
okay?
Wow.
I just walked it all.
Okay.
Yeah. So, all right, so what I was making a motion for is to amend the policy to make the whole tardy section that was tacked on to the old attendance policy from the high school attendance policy applicable to the high school, because it's really unique to the high school. So that's my first motion.
Second.
So do you just want to clarify that in the heading that it's for the high school?
Yes, hold on a second. I'll give you the number.
Okay. I mean, I don't have it, so I don't have it.
We'll have that one back.
Oh, no, that was just the substance
That
use.
is,
But he has the other policy.
Oh, yeah. We just need to know the heading in the section so that we know what we're talking about.
So he's changing it so that it says high school.
it should be the last page.
Title?
The very last page?
Yeah, it should be the last page.
But what about Macapin? Doesn't Macapin fall under those also?
What I'm saying is it shouldn't. I mean,
They don't
Macmillan
work
doesn't really
class-
have, Macmillan doesn't have the same kind of problems that this would address.
It's not right.
It's attendance.
Yeah,
Okay,
that's what we're
would be
talking about.
page 7I under tardiness would be the one where it would be applicable. And that runs along to,
Are you talking about, is this the policy or the regulation?
regulation, sorry.
Okay. So what section where it says tardiness, do you just want it to say tardiness for the high school? Right, you want that
Yes.
clarified? Okay.
Yes.
But I want to clarify, do we need the tardiness policy part as part of the Macapin school? Because they are moving from class to class. And part of that has to do with the time frame in the class.
Yeah, correct. Our secondary schools, our elementary schools, they're really with the teacher, they get walked to the gym, to the art room. Macapin in high school, they do move classes. I'm not seeing any kind of attendance issues at Macapin at all. Kids are in the classrooms, the bell rings. If somebody's 2 seconds late, it's noticeable. So I'm not sensing that at Macapin.
All right,
Policy should just be the high school.
The motion was to change the heading under for tardiness to tardiness, either parentheses high school or dash high school, or just something to clarify high school. That was the motion. And it was seconded.
Okay, so we
need
have
a vote.
we're putting a vote on that, okay?
Yes,
That's a roll call vote, correct?
yes.
We're voting on the motion to change that to just the high school. We're not voting on the second reading, just to change it, the amendment to it. to change it to the high school
For tardiness.
for tardiness. Mrs. Francisco?
Mr. Bailey?
No.
Mr. Seidowitz?
No.
Mr. Drew?
Yes.
Mrs. Fritz?
No.
Mr. Guarino?
No.
Mr. Huber?
Yes.
Mrs. O'Brien?
No.
Mrs. Van Dyke?
No.
Okay.
So now we're back to the second reading.
Of the original.
To vote on the first and 1 and 2.
Correct.
Is there any other discussion?
I have another motion. Under 2A, under the tardiness section, that school is very difficult as far as layout goes. Okay?
Which page you
On the same page.
Which school?
Same page, 2A.
Page 9 of
Which school are you talking about?
high school.
Well, it didn't pass, so it's all schools.
Well, you said that
You
school.
said that school.
You said
Sorry.
that's one.
I'm sorry, the high school
Mhm.
is, I thought everybody knew the high school layout was kind of crazy.
Mhm.
All right, but that layout of the school is very difficult for new students coming in from Acton to get used to. And I think cutting the grace period from 10 days to 5 days is unnecessary. I don't think there's any discipline problem that serves to do that, to just make it more draconian and to pounce on the kids a little earlier. I'd like to remove that and change it back to 10 days.
Okay.
You need a second for that. Anyone? Okay.
Okay, here's my next motion. The 5-minute cut. Okay, I think, again, that's draconian. I'll meet you in the middle. If we can make it 15 minutes, I think that would still be reasonable.
You're in section 2?
Yeah, so
Keeping in mind the kids are still getting punished for being late already.
Grace period,
So
right? Grace period day, same thing.
Well, they already,
Something about
they
this
just
line
didn't
here.
get a second on that one. That's the same.
So you need a second
So you're
for this
talking,
motion.
you're section 2, right? That sentence, tardiness.
It would be section 2, yes.
Yep, okay. Do you want to change that from 5 to 15?
Yeah.
Okay.
We need a second on that. Anyone? Okay. All right, is that it? Can we move 1 and 2 now? Or is there any other discussion by anyone else? Mr. Drew?
Fairly quickly. My concern with the tardiness policy is that it escalates to an absence, which then affects academic credit. Now, I know chronic absenteeism is just a terrible problem all over the state, and kids who don't show up to class don't do well. But I think they're not going to do well on their own, that we shouldn't necessarily have an automatic, your grade is lowered as a result of this. They're just not going to do well. So it's just a concern I have about the entire issue, that it's possible some kid could still do all their work and do fine and shouldn't necessarily be penalized automatically. You know, they're not going to do well anyhow if they don't show up. But
Mr. Ewer?
People being people, I believe that people are going to sleep in and get up late and things like that, and I think it's going to unduly impact our first period classes.
So noted. Anyone else? Mrs. Francisco, 1 and 2?
Mr. Bailey?
Yes.
Mr. Seidowitz?
No.
Mr. Drew?
no,
Mrs. Fritz?
Yes.
Mr. Guarino?
Yes.
Mr. Huber?
No.
Ms. O'Brien?
Yes.
Ms. Van Dyke?
Yes.
Motion carried.
Okay. Do we have to go into executive?
We have
session?
committee reports?
Yeah,
then-
I didn't know if we had to do it by 9 o'clock or something.
No.
Committee reports, Mr. Guarino, any, do we have parks in
There
there?
is no Parks and Rec meeting. They're still in search of
Oh.
Director of Rec.
Myself for safety, I did speak actually with Mr. Citro last night, and it looks like we're going to be having a meeting the end of April because there's some,
Right after.
yeah, that the superintendent's roundtable is Thursday?
Yes.
I'll be the next. Last one went very well. I think the parents were very happy with, the answers.
The one thing that they are looking for, and they're looking to you, Mr. Sato, as their hero, to get that voting out of it.
Catch that, Nate, no pressure.
So, and when if you hear anything, that would be wonderful. The State County School Boards, the meeting is the 29th. New Jersey School Board, have anything? Mr. Huber, you are legislative.
Okay. The report from last week that had to do with the various items that went through the Assembly, they have now gone through the Senate. Those bills were that affected schools, about 4 bills that had to do with education on sexual misconduct and things like that, and employee hiring and searching employee history before hiring them with regard to that. It's now through the Senate. It's up to the governor to sign off on it. So we'll see if he signs off on it, it'll be law, and that will be complying with that. Now, going back to the things that were at the last voted on items from the end of last year. There were some number of bills approved that were signed by the governor, and then there were some that were called pocket beater. Basically, they were passed by the Assembly and the Senate, and then the governor did not sign them, and so they just died. So they can be brought back up this year. Okay, so the bills that were approved require a computer science course required to be offered in public schools, and ensure that the modern computer science standards are incorporated by 2022 and 2023 school year. Presumably, those standards will be supplied by the State Board of Ed, and they will be incorporated in high school graduation requirements. Okay. The next bill, I'm not going to bother reading the numbers because it's just silly.
But if somebody would like to
If somebody would like them, I'll be
contact
happy
you,
to give them, yeah. The next bill is a revision of a current law that affects the types of securities that can be purchased by local units and school districts. It has to do with investment pools that have to be managed. It'll concern Barbara's work more than anything else, I believe. And the next one that was passed established standardized change condition clauses for construction contracts. So when we do a construction contract, the way I read this is that there's going to be certain conditions that we're required to have in there. So when we put it out to bid, we would probably have to incorporate these things. And those would have to do with site conditions, suspension of contract work, changes in character of contract work, changes in the amount of work to be performed by the contractor, and it would establish a standard process for handling changed conditions on local public construction projects. The next bill has to do with busing. This one was passed. Provides that a person who knowingly operates a school bus transporting one or more students while the person's driving privileges have been suspended or revoked is guilty of a crime of the fourth degree. I think that pretty much sums that up, and it creates increased penalties should there be an accident or bodily injury. That. Let's see. The next one is require school buses that provide transportation for students using wheelchairs to be equipped with 4-point secure system to secure the chair. For any of those who have ever been in an ambulance that does that kind of transportation, there's little clips that hook on the wheels and so on and so forth. Let me see. It will require lap and shoulder belts, and I'm sure that Joe will have to inform the administration about the details of that. My update here doesn't give any more details than that, really. The next bill required that the school districts and non-public schools notify each student enrolled and the parents and guardians about summer meal programs. And you can do that by electronic notice, so that's not so bad.
We don't have them.
Okay. Let's see. And then there's some pocket vetoed items. I think that's long enough for one day.
Yep.
As long as none of them are impacting us.
Yeah. There's a couple of them that will.
Mrs. Fritz, technology.
I don't have any updates today. We haven't had another meeting, so.
Mrs. O'Brien, Milford Education Foundation.
The West Milford Education Foundation is having a meet and greet next Monday, March 26th, 7 p.m. at the Board of Ed Conference Room. Please come out and support them. We're looking for new members, and we're looking to move forward and granting grants to our wonderful faculty and staff of West Milford.
Thank you. Well, Mr. Siowitz.
So the councilman and myself have kept correspondence through email and phone. We haven't had a physical meeting since our last one. However, the main topic has been, for me, through the board, the PK as a voting location. And some direction was given to me by the councilmen. And I will be contacting the township administrator and possibly the county administrators to find out what election requirements need to be fulfilled. And as a general question that's stemming from this, couldn't we just say PK is no longer a voting location, sorry?
No. If you recall, we wrote a letter to the township administrator about 18 months ago, 2 years ago, because Mrs. Kepi was very concerned about that. And they came back and they said, sorry. And we came up with other alternatives like the church where it used to be and the ambulance squad.
Right.
But they've designated the site and they won't move from that.
So do you happen to know if that was through the county function of running elections?
County Board of Elections.
Yeah.
The county does that. So really the county is the primary.
They would have to appeal to the county to have the location changed. I could give you a copy of that correspondence if you don't happen to have it.
That would be great, thank you. So that is the main focus as of right now. There are other topics, but that takes time to develop into other things. So that is my report, thank you.
We appreciate you pursuing that. Casa, Mr. Huber.
Okay. First, I'd like to congratulate Nate Bedford and thank him for volunteering to be a CASA committee member, voting CASA committee member under the communication category. This helps us meet grant requirements that if we can get this grant, we can do a lot for the community on the topic of the substance abuse prevention and education and such. I'd like to go through some dates and events that are planned. Okay, Saturday, this Saturday, March 24th, is a Strengthening Families Resource Fair at Our Lady Queen of Peace. I believe that is from 1 to 4. And it's co-sponsored by the Highland Family Success Center. The Friday, April 27th, is the date for the CASA Middle School semiformal. It's being held at Macpins from 7:30 to 9:30. There is no pre-registration this year. They have plenty of capacity, and they're going to be taking the $15 fee at the door. However, there is a permission slip that can be obtained on the CASA committee website, which there is a link on I believe the families drop down on the district website that families can get the permission slip. They have to bring the permission slip or they will be turned away. Okay? Monday, April 30th, is Hidden in Plain Sight. Now, this is a great program. It's for adults only. This program is designed to, it's going to have like a bedroom setup. And it's going to be designed to educate parents on where paraphernalia and other things might be hidden that would not be obvious, and it's everybody I've talked to who's gone to it has said it's an absolutely fabulous presentation.
Glenn,
So I'd recommend
we're going to do a no homework night that night, so parents have a little more free time that evening
Fantastic.
to attend.
Thank you for the.
They're not home with their kids struggling through homework.
Great, thank you for that support. That's great. Saturday, May 12th is the Lions Health Fair at the Rec Center. I'm sorry, the Hidden in Plain site. Let me go back to that. That's being held at 7 p.m. at the high school cafeteria, I believe, right? In the cafeteria. And that's 7:30 to roughly 8:30-ish, maybe 9.
Glenn, did you say 7 or 7:30?
Yeah, I thought you said 7.
The Hidden in Plain site is 7 o'clock to around 8:39. Okay. The Lions Health Fair is on May 12th at the Rec Center from 11:30 to 2:30 p.m. 2:30 p.m. That's a Saturday. The Community Awareness Dinner that CASA holds is Saturday, May 19th at the library. An RSVP will be preferred. That, for those of you who don't know, each year CASA has a knowledgeable speaker that comes in and discusses topics with regard to substance abuse and prevention and such like for anybody who wants to come. It is open to older students that parents feel it's appropriate to bring. And it's really, I've been to the last 2 or 3 of them. It's really very, very educational. And then on June 13th, from 6 to 8 p.m. at the West Milford Library, there's Narcan training. And with the Narcan training, they will, I believe, provide Narcan kits for anybody who would want to have them and maybe have a need for them. So this is great for anybody who is in a role where they might be around anybody who could be helped with this. All right? And other than that, the CASA committee will be submitting a grant, submitting for the grant again. We're crossing our fingers, and hopefully we've met more of the requirements now, and we'll see what happens.
Thank you. Old business, request?
Yeah, we had a request for information that had been posted in the newspapers. And just to give the board an update, we did not receive any responses for anyone interested in the building. We did receive responses of people that are interested in renting space in the building, more particularly the space that was originally from New Life Recovery. But that's the only interest that we've received so far.
Any discussion under old business? Mr. Sires?
This question is from Mr. Francisco. The LGEA walkthrough, did the snow inhibit any walkthrough last week?
I don't believe there was anything scheduled last week. Everything is going forward starting next week. So 2 buildings have been completed.
Thank you.
Any other old business?
I'd like to ask Dr. Anamone about whether you guys have done anything about warning the students about the popcorn lung. At the CASA meeting, our 2 student representatives pretty much said the kids just don't know that there's a danger. Okay? And so I'm still concerned that we use our bully pulpit as a district and be able to warn the youth of the community of the dangers of that.
Well, we did craft a letter. The board asked us to send a letter, to draft a letter to the town council, which we did. Barbara, we sent it out already to the township council.
You did get
Mayor.
And it was very nicely worded. It was really well written, but that's not what I was asking about.
Okay, what were you asking about?
All right, we had discussed last meeting, and it really wasn't, a motion didn't go forward because it was felt that it should be handled by the administration. I think that was the general feeling. And so I'm asking if the administration in the last month has done anything about warning the students of this problem about this health danger. Since vaping has really gotten traction in the middle school, and it's already established in the high school.
Well, we have a curriculum. We base our curriculum on the content standards that come from the state. So we have our curriculum for the year. We base that on the state content standards. There's nothing in the state's content standards about this popcorn lung. So we really don't have enough information to insert into our curriculum. Once we do, we certainly would teach that in our health classes. But it doesn't quite work that way. Our teachers lesson plan months in advance. So it would be very difficult to take this. We don't really have the knowledge base right now, I believe, to teach this to our kids.
All right, so I'd like to make a motion, again. Hopefully somebody will second it this time. I'd like to make a motion in whatever form the administration thinks is the most effective. It's our job to ask the administration to do things, their job to implement it. To ask them to warn the students promptly of the dangers of vaping certain chemicals that could create permanent damage to their lungs that will make you breathe like an old man, okay, with COPD. We really need to warn them of that. And it would be nice to tell them also, too, that vaping often, has all the same chemicals that smoking did as well.
You need a second.
Second.
Okay, so now, discussion? Roll call on that? Roll call.
Mr. Bailey?
No.
Mr. Seidowitz?
Yes.
Mr. Drew?
Yes.
Mrs. Fritz?
No.
Mr. Guarino?
No.
Mr. Huber?
Yes?
Mrs. O'Brien?
No.
Mrs. Van Dyke?
No. Is there anything else under old business? I need a motion to close old business.
Move to close old business.
Second.
All right.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? New business. Mr. Drew?
This is real quick. I'd just like to say thank you to the people who put on the play. They really did a professional job. It was well done. The orchestra, the students, and everybody involved in that. This district does a great job with the musicals, and I think it's suited to the talents of the kids and the staff, and I just thoroughly enjoyed it. So thank you to everybody involved in that. Also gave me an opportunity to experience our new auditorium, and I think we did a great job with that. It really looks nice. It's a pleasure to be in, and it had good acoustics. So good job, West Milford.
I agree. Any other new business?
Yep. I'd like to make a motion that, being that it's their purview, to request from the municipality 2 resource officers, one for Mackin School and one for the high school.
You want to?
We've done that. We've had the municipality supplied that years ago, and it was withdrawn.
Because there was no money. There's no
All right,
more
well,
money
that's,
anymore. No money.
that's something, they have a budget, they're going to be discussing it as well. So, but
Grant.
it can't hurt for us to ask. In view of all these, shootings, there's a school resource officer that saved kids today. Or was it yesterday? Sorry.
Today.
It was today. It was this morning,
Maryland,
right? Okay.
this morning.
Yeah, in Maryland. There's a school resource officer that prevented people from getting killed. Okay? And I just think it's appropriate to ask. If they say no, they say no. Then we have to figure something else out.
Are you looking to send them a letter? Is that what you're looking?
Yes, I'd like to, make a formal request, preferably before their next council meeting, which, if it doesn't get snowed out, is tomorrow night, so that they can put it into their discussions, because they're discussing their budget as well.
Second.
Any other discussion on that? Just a roll call. Go ahead, Mrs. Francis, roll call.
Mr. Bailey?
No.
Mr. Seidowitz?
Yes.
Mr. Drew?
Yes.
Mrs. Fritz?
This is just a request that they consider it? Yes.
Mr. Guarino?
Yes.
Mr. Huber?
Yes.
Mrs. O'Brien?
Yes.
Mrs. Van Dyke?
Yes.
Maybe we should assign somebody to go to the meeting tomorrow.
I don't know, it's right now you have a state of emergency, so I don't know if they're going to actually have it.
Oh, of course.
I was actually going to make this motion on the 13th, but it would be more timely if there was a meeting tomorrow.
Anything else under old business?
So just so we're clear, this is
New
a
business.
Just to
phone call?
Yeah, phone
Just
call
reach
or
out.
letter or email, whatever you think is best.
I do have one more thing. It's more of a notification to the administration. And there is a perception running around middle school parents, which is coming from a perception of high school parents, that, and I know that this is probably a vast minority of teachers, but there's a perception that when the children move from middle school to high school, that their children will not get help from the teachers if your child has a problem. And this is just something I want to bring up. It's a perception that I've been hearing about, and I'm going to ask the administration to please do what you can to, one, remedy what little bit of truth may be behind that. I doubt there's very much, too many teachers that are like that, but I'm sure there are a few. And to see what you can do to communicate with the parents to, reassure them of what you're doing and that it is being looked after.
Anything else? I need a motion to close new business.
Move to close new business.
Second. All
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? The second public comment part of the agenda is able to speak on non-agenda items. Petitioners who have requested to speak prior to the meeting will be first with 5 minutes for each petitioner for a period of 30 minutes, and then time permitting other petitioners and requests limited to a time frame of 5 minutes per petitioner will be allowed until the 30-minute time period expires. All speakers are asked to give their full name, spell their last name, and provide their address. Speakers may not use the names of students during petitions and requests. Anyone wishing to speak?
My name is Tamara Jordan of West Milford. We have car insurance. I have car insurance. I haven't had an accident, but I have car insurance, just in case. With the resource officers, money should be coming from somewhere in this town, okay? Somebody has to really, really, really think about this and vote accordingly, whether it's the Board of Ed, whether it's our council, whether we could get grants, but let's hope we never need to have a problem. But if we have a problem, we will be ready. That's how everybody feels, and I'm sure that if we had that, I don't think people would mind their taxes being raised slightly for something like that. When we start getting into athletics, things like that, people have problems with that. They're working very hard, they're pinching pennies, they're budgeting. It's very difficult on families today. But on security, in light of everything that we've seen and are experiencing on television, and it's horrible. I hope we never, ever have to have that, but let's have some coverage. Let's really think this through. That's all.
Mrs. Jordan, I didn't get your address, I'm sorry.
She didn't give it.
12 Concord.
I'm sorry, thank you.
It's okay.
Anyone else?
Move to close public comments.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Okay, we need a motion to go into executive session.
I move to go into executive session at 10 o'clock for the purposes of discussing personnel appointments, resignation, current litigation matters, special education matters, negotiations, HIVs, and matters of attorney-client privilege.
Second.
All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? We will take action.
Joe, this is your first agenda, you have to go in the beginning, right? Yeah. I just noticed that now.
Yeah. Mr. Drew, do you want to do the Hibbs? Motion number 3 under education?
Okay. I'd like to move number 3 under education. We have 4 Hibbs. H11 unsubstantiated, H12, these are the recommendations of the administration. H12 substantiated, E15 is unsubstantiated, and I believe E16 was substantiated.
Yep. Second.
Okay. Any discussion? If not, roll call.
I'll get there. Mrs. O'Brien,
Yes.
Mr. Guarino,
Yes.
Mr. Huber,
Yes.
Mrs. Fritz.
Yes.
Mr. Seidowitz.
Yes.
Mr. Drew,
Yes.
Mrs. Van Dyke.
Yes. Okay, Mrs. O'Brien, personnel? The hand carry, 18?
I'd like to move item 18 under the hand carry personnel student training.
Second.
Any discussion? Mrs. Francisco.
Mrs. O'Brien,
Yes.
Mrs. Fritz,
Yes.
Mr. Huber,
Yes.
Mr. Seidowitz.
Yes.
Mr. Drew.
Yes.
Mr. Guarino,
Yes.
Mrs. Van Dyke.
Yes.
Motion to adjourn?
No, not yet. Not yet. Next thing. I have one motion, I will read it.
I'm like, I thought we had another
It says, whereas due to the potential for an excessive number of snow days to be used this year, the school calendar may need to be adjusted to include additional instructional days and ensure that schools are open for the minimum number of student days. And whereas, given the potential for additional snow days in the coming days, it is not possible at this time to determine a definitive school calendar for the remainder of the school year. Be it resolved that the board hereby authorizes the superintendent to modify the school calendar for the 17-18 school year as he reasonably sees fit to ensure that additional days, which were originally deemed non-school days in the calendar previously approved by the board, are added back into the school calendar as instructional days as appropriate.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Any discussion?
Who second that?
Will,
Will?
or did
Either way.
one of them?
I don't, yeah.
That's fine. Mr. Seidowitz,
Yes.
Mr. Drew,
Yes.
Mrs. Fritz.
Yes.
Mr. Guarino,
Yes.
Mr. Huber,
Yes.
Mrs. O'Brien,
Yes.
Mr. Van Dyke, Mrs. Van Dyke. Billy Boy, I'm thinking about Billy Boy. That's terrible.
Yes,
That's
I need a
terrible.
motion.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Good night. I hope everybody's been safe.
Likewise.
Yes, take travels if you have to, if not, stay home.
Steve.
Because I don't want to forget, it's for the Chromebook.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Thank you for that. Thank you for that. Thank you for that. Thank you for that.